I do use Codex to code.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You like Codex? You prefer it to Claude Code, or you use both?
Codex when I want to try to do something real, and Claude Code is when I'm just like vibing.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like very, it's very,
Well, it's interesting. I think they live at different points, and there's a sort of space of trade-offs.
Yeah.
Whereas I find Claude Code and Opus 4.6, it's a little more chatty. It makes more assumptions, but it can be more pleasant for a synchronous experience.
Yeah.
Whereas Codex, it really thinks hard, and
Yeah.
it's more often accurate. But sometimes it's sort of like being in a conversation where the other person pauses for like 3 minutes to think.
Yeah.
And
You don't have the flow state, right? It's hard to get a flow. Like Cloud Code, dude. I tweeted the other day. Like Cloud Code is almost like a slot machine. It's
Yes.
like it has different things each time. And it's just like,
Oh, 100%,
it's
dude.
like a slot machine.
Look,
Yeah.
I do think that if you think, remember we were talking about in the old social networking era,
Yeah.
it was variable scheduled rewards, right?
Yeah.
That was the whole magic of it. Like you open your Facebook feed and, once in a while it's like boring. Oh my God, this is so exciting. And the coding agents have the exact same property. Also, the time is variable. So sometimes you get something in a second, sometimes it takes 5 minutes. So up to a certain point, I actually think that both of those things give it that casino-like feeling.
Yeah. And the other thing that's very different about the product strategy, or maybe it's just the way it works, is like coding is kind of like self-explanatory.
Yeah.
And Cloud Code, you have all this crazy shit. You have like hooks and like skills and like you have to
plugins.
Like if you're not following
loops.
if you're not following X, you have no idea how to customize this thing.
Yeah.
But once you customize it, you kind of feel like it's part of you. So it's kind of hard to churn.
It's interesting with, so I've customized mine because also I read the long thing that Boris put up.
Yeah.
But I will say that I think that, Claude Code, a lot of the reasons that I enjoy it are just harness features. Like for example, if you cut an image, you have to paste it into a file and then paste that file into Codex.
Okay.
You can't just take a subset of the screen, screenshot it, and then paste it directly into Codex the same way you can with Claude Code.
Oh, really? Okay.
So just like little things like that, Claude Code added voice. It's a little bit janky right now, but it's going in the right direction. So they've just got a bunch of quality of life things.
Yeah.
Claude Code speaks to Claude and Chrome.
Okay.
And Codex doesn't speak to Atlas.
Got it.
So I think these are all things that OpenAI will fix.
Yeah.
I think Codex is actually a much better model, but they don't exist today.
Yeah. They need to fix it. I mean, they're going to go all in on Codex, I'm sure. Yeah.
Talk to me about coding agents. Like, what's your general view? Do you think it's the end of SaaS? Do you think these are just a toy?
Well, first of all, I'm like not an engineer, so I'm like a novice. But I do hear that, like I was talking to some folks the other day, and like like an AI native startup, and they're basically trying to. They have a bunch of vibe coders, and all the vibe coders are just trying to build internal tools that replace their SaaS that they're paying for.
Really? So it's an actual company that's doing this?
It's an actual company. Yeah.
It's an AI native company.
It's like one of the vibe coding companies, like one of the more popular ones.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Oh, I see. So they're actually an app gen company.
They're an app gen company, and they're paying for a bunch of SaaS, like, and they want to get rid of the payment. They want to just buy app coding internal tools.
By using, okay. So in that case, that they might be the most extreme form of adopter because their own product is app gen, so they should use app gen for everything.
Yeah.
I guess, is your prediction though that the average company will churn off of Slack or Deal or,
I don't think I feel like Slack has a lot of legs because Slack can also be the place where you talk to the agents themselves. But some of the other ones, they are pretty complicated, so like it's kind of be hard to vibe code that kind of stuff. But I feel like if you have like an app like maybe Calendly or like something more simple, then why should I pay for it? Like
why should I pay for it though? The counterpoint is that it's not that expensive.
Yeah.
And do you really want to maintain your own Calendly thing?
Yeah.
Versus pay $20 a month, it always gets updated.